forgot to start the camera. So what I'm doing now is I'm just gonna screw the bottom back on. I know I may have to take it back off to work on RCA cables if they need to be replaced, but let's do this the easy way. Alright, now as far as the motor goes, there were no lubrication points underneath, and I don't know if there is. Yeah, I think it's sealed. I don't think there's a spot to oil the motor. And I didn't notice or sense or feel or hear anything binding. In terms of the motor, it starts, it's quiet. So let's do a sound check. And if I were a betting man, I would bet that the RCA cables need to be replaced. That belt might be a little tight too, I don't know. I'm gonna have to see if that's the same size belt as the YP211. Clean this crap off of this. And this lip mat is actually clean. Most of these, it's kind of a weird color, but most of these, by the time I get them, they're almost like a nasty yellow. This actually preserved the gray color. And maybe this probably wasn't in like a smoker's house, which is where a lot of that discoloration comes from. All right. Okay, so it's on. No hum. Repeat is off. Oh, well, there's no power. Okay. Up. Sounds like it's returning. I gotta see what's making that noise, because that noise is horrible. Alright. Yeah, I gotta redamp that tone arm. It's a little. Alright. RCA cables sound good. Definitely be redamping the tone arm. Let's check out the speed now. To me, it sounded a little bit slow. It's better. And there's some things that I can do to improve that speed a little bit. First, I'm going to check on the belt. If it's the same size, then I'll talk to you about a couple of things you can do to improve the speed. Some MacGyvering things that you can do. All right, so let's look at, I'm going to have to go and do some other stuff for a while, but we will pick this back up with the turntable flipped over. I'll do the tone arm damping, and then we'll talk about speed. One thing I did not check, that sometimes the motor mounts on these will go, they'll they'll rot and it will cause the motor spindle to tilt in a little bit. And what I typically will do in that case is I'll change the position of the motor mounts. I've done that a couple of times. So like the better motor, the motors that don't get a lot of that force, right, the compression from the motor being pulled by the belt. So I'll swap the motor mounts, the good ones in the back, or one of the good ones in the back to the front, and then this one in the front that's probably just been smushed down, I'll put that in the back, and it typically resolves the issue. Because guess what? They don't sell motor mounts for these anymore. So you got to be creative. So anyway, I'll pick this back up. This will be flipped over, and we'll be talking about motor mounts, damping, hopefully getting the speed dialed in easily, and then cleaning this up and getting it out. Okay, so motor mounts are good. So that's not a problem. I do have other belts though. I'm going to try another belt on here, see if I can get the speed dialed in a little bit more. To damp the tone arm, here is the assembly. There's a little clip down here and a spring. And that's the tone arm elevator. So let me move that off of there. Oh, plug it. So that spring goes up and down. If I remember correctly, I have to remove this assembly by releasing that clip there. So let's do that. Let's take this apart. Okay, I forgot on this one that there's a little screw that holds this in place. Yeah, the whole thing doesn't come out. So the issue is to pull that tone arm elevator out. I need to clear the tone arm, and I can't without removing the tone arm stand. So, and there's just a little nut on the bottom of this tone arm stand. So, remove that. And now I can move this out of the way. No, I can't. What's the hold up here? I may have to move the tone arm out of the way. Yep. I don't like doing this, but in this case I don't have a choice. So what I have to do is take the tone arm out of the base here. Oh, that one doesn't want to move. Oh, goodness. Oh, there it goes. And now I can slide that out. Okay. Tone arm elevator. Notice how there are some kind of gaps here. So what I do is I goop the whole middle of this with some new damping fluid. And in my opinion, the more, I mean, you don't want to go crazy, but if it starts off a little bit slow, it will eventually work its way into where you've got that, 4 seconds, somewhere around there. And there's no good way to do this from the top, unfortunately. And when I say the top, I mean when this is flipped over, to just kind of apply this without disassembling it. Alright, move that out of the way. Yeah, so that's good. Put this back. I've got about 5 minutes and I gotta run. So I may have to pause this and come back. There we go. Perfect. All right, base next. I'll get this out of the way. Alright, so there is the Tonearm stand, and that's aligned. And let's get this clip back on, and then although this might be a little bit trickier than I'm anticipating it being. Okay, so there are 2 grooves, and this should go on the second one. And this is where you have to push the spring down at the same time you're trying to hit that groove. And then you gotta get your big fat finger out of the way and clip that in spot there in place. Like so. Put this back. There is some, the last couple that I've worked on, there was some silicone here as well. And I can feel it. There's silicone in here for some reason. I don't know if that's, maybe it's grease. I don't know. Okay, almost there. There we go. Function check with the head channel. It's a little slow, but it'll work its way free. And I'm not convinced that this is... Yeah, I think these are just a little too tight here. There we go. Now we'll set to 1.5. And 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000. That would hit the record right about there. Might be a little bit slow. It's not going to hit the record too fast, and that's the important thing. Okay, I got a jet. I have a thing that I have to do for my real job. And so I'll be back to wrap this up. We'll work on the speed when I come back.